Well, our moms think we're funny.
Hi, I'm Acomi.
Hey everybody, this is Turk182.
And welcome to... Do Our Moms Think We're Funny?
She's just going to call me out like that.
I couldn't remember what letter we ended on last episode. No, I think we were on E, so... Hey, our moms think we're funny.
Yeah, so we're actually filming this episode in Canada.
You know that's how they named Canada, right?
Huh.
They drew 3 letters out of a hat and they were like, hey, C-A, C-N-A, D-A.
That's good.
We love you, Canada. I love you. Turk can take you or leave you.
Pain! I can't feel my legs!
It's because you ain't got none. And he looked down, his little stumps was a-kicking. God, I love Major Payne. Such a good movie. Okay, so today I want to talk about fear.
Hold on, so before we do that, you mentioned Canada, right?
Yeah.
And I just have this idea, like, you have a North Dakota, you have South Dakota.
Yeah.
You got North Carolina, you have South Carolina, right?
Yep.
How do they decide, or like, what was it say, like, you know, like, Dakota was like such a great name. Now, I know you got the Dakota Indians, but they didn't name that land, right? Someone else named it when they took it from them, right?
Right.
Which is kind of shitty. It'd be like if I came to your house and I stole your house and named it Acomi's place. Be like, you fucker. You know, it was Acomi's place back when I had it. Hey, I'm just trying to honor you, man. This is a tribute to you. But it was like, it's not like the states like came together and be like, okay, so we're going to be North Dakota, and you're going to be South Dakota.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, no, I imagine that this place was like, we're going to name this state Dakota.
Yeah.
And then someone else came in, and like, you know, it's like, we're going to take over this land right above you, and we're going to call ourselves North Dakota. You can't do that! He's like, why not?
It's my OC. It's like Dakota only North.
You're right, it's North Dakota, but that just makes us South Dakota. Be like, he's like, yeah, fuck you, right? Remember when you said we couldn't marry our cousins? Because I'm sure that South Dakota didn't want to be South Dakota. They just want to be Dakota, or they're like, we're gonna call ourselves North Dakota. And they came and they was like, and they put themselves above us like, we're North Dakota. Like, no, we already had that name, but. Yeah, but you're kind of beneath us, right? So, so that's hey, your name's kind of a lie now, isn't it? You bastard.
Guy who said the same joke but louder.
What was that? Made me think of the Key and Peele thing. Remember?
I don't know if I've seen that one.
The one where the kid tells a joke, the hypotenuse. I wish I was high on hypotenuse. And then the other guy says it louder, and he's like, that's my joke. And then he like becomes like a big thing. He's like, that's my joke.
No, I haven't seen that one.
They'll mess with time.
My favorite Key and Peele is the grown-ass man one.
Which one's that?
That's where he's in the restaurant with him. He's like, you gotta try this 3-bean salad. And he like is like spoon-feeding it to him. He's like, hey! I'm a grown-ass man. Don't be hand-feeding me. I can eat it myself. He's like, I know you can, big fella. And, like, it just, like, starts escalating, and finally he stands up. He's like, excuse me, folks, my son here, he's got that Benjamin Button's disease. He's 4. Oh, shit, Destroy All Monsters. That was a great one. That had the stupid soccer joke.
Soccer joke?
Yeah, it's when Godzilla's fighting King Caesar and Anguirus. And Anguirus like curls up into a ball and throws himself at Godzilla, and Godzilla smacks him with his tail. And then King Caesar like runs up and kicks him up in the air, and Godzilla does like the soccer goalie dive and tries to smack him out of the air and misses. It's the funniest shit.
Wow.
I love it. That's my favorite Godzilla movie.
That sounds almost as bad as Mummy 3, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor.
It's really good.
It's good!
Oh, man. Oh, I love Destroy All Monsters. Anyway, but speaking of monsters, let's talk about fear.
Oh, nice segue, dude.
Yeah, damn, I'm good.
Man, it's like you rode in on a two-wheel bike. That's a segue joke, people.
the super mega guys on their podcast, anytime they want to segue into a different topic, they just pretend that they find a segue. He's like, hey, look what I have in this box. It's a segue.
Wow, that's bad.
It's not smooth at all. It's really bad, and they do it every single episode. Anyway, so fear. We all experience it. I mostly want to talk about like fears that we had when we were kids, and not only that, but like how we react to those fears now. Like, are they the same for you? Have they changed? Are some more intense? Or some less intense? Things like that.
That movie on How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Huh.
It's like,
shouldn't take 10 days.
I'm not really gay.
That's not what I was expecting for that.
Yeah, well, it works. I've just been pretending.
What would be the fucking motivation for that? That would be my only question in that situation is why? Why would you put up with having a dick in your mouth for 10 days if you're not even gay and you just fake, and why?
I got a Spanish English dictionary. I didn't like what you said. Alright, so you were talking about fears?
Yeah, fears. You know, my biggest fear is finding out that he's not really gay.
Oh god, I gotta watch myself as I get older. I'm starting to like get a Burt Reynolds laugh.
Well, that laugh I was doing, that was a damn Chris O'Neill laugh. So, just that wheezy prospector laugh. God. Yeah, just like that guttural.
The prospector, he'll wanna meet you.
Sweet mother of Abraham Lincoln.
Oh, okay.
I was saying, so speaking of smooth segues, because that was always a huge fear of mine as a kid, and it's still kind of like it still kind of gives me the willies now. Is dolls coming to life? Since we're quoting Toy Story.
Oh yeah.
So, and I've explained this on Korova before, and I might have actually explained this on this podcast, but it's something that has always stuck with me, and that was, you know, as a kid, I was fucking terrified of dolls. And even before, like, the big scare that you already know about occurred, I would see, like, little doll toys, and, like, you know, the eyes would open and close pretty much on their own. Obviously, you know, it's the whole gravity thing, you have to tilt them back for it to happen, but when you're 5, you don't see that shit.
Right.
I guess I was 4 at the time. So, like, you don't think about the fact that it's like, oh, yes, science, of course. Silly me. All you see is like, oh, this fucking thing's alive, and it already looks almost human, but not quite, so it's already really bad. And then, like, pretty much for people who are just, like, getting onto the channel and just starting around to listening to the podcast, this is why I'm really, really creeped out by dolls to this day. And that was, the video rental store in my town when I was a kid. And like I said, I'm, you know, 3, 4 at this point. They had a big poster for Child's Play. And I mean, it was a big poster. And especially when you're a toddler and it's like that much bigger seeming to you. So I see Chucky and I'm just terrified. And I didn't know that he was called Chucky at the time. I couldn't read or anything. I just knew that it was like this creepy ass doll covered in scars with a knife. And that
So
just...
was that Child's Play 2 or 3 then?
It was actually a cardboard cutout. I remember now.
Well, I was gonna say because to my knowledge, the first one did not have him all scarred up. He was just a regular good guy doll. I think it was like maybe 3 when they started showing him with the scars.
Okay.
Because he gets remade in 2.
Okay. See,
And,
like, I still haven't seen any of these movies for this very reason. No, like, this was a cardboard cutout, and it's like him kind of doing like the Bigfoot walk. He's got like 1 foot in front of him, 1 foot behind him, and he's got the knife up and the head turning towards you, and the eyes are glowing red.
Yeah.
So, I would say it was probably Child's Play 2, if I had to venture a guess, because I don't specifically remember the scars, but I also had a really hard time looking at it, too. I would look at it and just be, like, just fucking horrified. And, I was a very vivid dreamer as a kid. I had a lot of nightmares. I used to hate going to sleep because, like, I only had, like, one good dream that my brain would go back to, and the rest were almost always nightmares. Which, from what I've read, that's a sign of having a strong imagination, but when you're a kid, you really don't care. You just know that sleeping is an absolutely miserable affair, because you're gonna just be terrified the entire time.
Right. You can't sleep. Clown to eat me.
Yeah. So, all that's really bad. You know, I'm being plagued with nightmares. I'm terrified by this stupid fucking poster. And then, you know, my mom has the talk with me that it's just a fake thing. It's not real. It can't hurt me. Blah, 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 blah. We go back to the video rental store. I happen to take a wrong turn into the horror movie section, and they have a life-size Chucky doll in there.
Oh, wow.
And that was just it. That was just, like, mind-shattered horror. And I never got over it at that point. Oh, man, it was so bad. And so, because of that, now any kind of living doll thing freaks me out. And, like, my sister was really into scary movies around that time. So when I was, like, 6 or 7, she got Night of the Living Dummy, the Goosebumps film. And, I mean, you know, Goosebumps isn't scary. No. Unless you're a 6-year-old who's been plagued for, like, the past 3 years, so fully half of your life, with nightmares of Chucky. Then, obviously, a living dummy like Slappy is just gonna, like, scare the fuck out of you. So, stuff like that. And then from there, just, like, nowadays, I can't watch a scary movie. And, like, I've never turned a movie off. Like, I watched all the way through Annabelle and stuff like that, and, like, all the creepy doll stuff from Poltergeist and whatnot. There's never been a point since I got really heavy into horror movies that I've just turned one off because it was too bad, but anytime I see a doll in a movie like that, it's just extra creepy for me.
No, I can see that.
Like, I'm gonna react a lot stronger to seeing a creepy doll than I would, like, some kind of a slasher thing or a demon or whatever. So, it still impacts me.
So I just gotta put this out there, is telling a kid that, you know, oh, it's just this, it can't hurt you, that doesn't explain anything to me.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
About why it can't hurt me. Or you need to say, okay, like, even just saying, it's not real, it can't hurt you. No, that's not enough.
Yeah.
That's not enough. You have to explain how it can't possibly hurt me. Or really what you have to do is you have to explain to me how I have the power to stop it from hurting me.
Right.
And that's, you know, that's what you need to do. Because
yeah.
I don't understand why, you know, the parents don't seem to understand that. Just like, it can't hurt you. Yeah, but in my mind, right, all it's doing is hurting me.
Right,
Here are all the ways in my mind that it's hurting me.
Right, because it's like, you know, I'm an ignorant child. For all I know, King Kong was a nature documentary.
Yeah.
I told you I cried at the end of the 1970s King Kong when I first saw it, right?
No, you didn't.
I was like 5, and I got it because I loved gorillas at the time. I mean, I still think gorillas are really cool. But, like, I loved gorillas, and I was really obsessed with King Kong, so, Mom rented me the 1970s King Kong, which is really good. I rewatched it recently, but at the end, when the people start crawling all over him because he's dead, I cried.
Oh, man.
Cried like a little bitch. That's pretty much going to be, like, the main theme of this. That's probably going to be the title of this episode, is just that Acomi's a bitch.
Well, you know, we won't actually be able to make it that, but, you know, now maybe Acomi's, has no balls. I'm not quite sure.
We'll just like tweak the spelling like we did with porn stars and doppelgangers and make it like Acomi's a bench or something like that.
Oh yeah, and Acomi's a bench. No, I'm right there with you. There were things that, you know, growing up that I had a fear of, and it was those things kind of they're there. Now I didn't have a fear of dolls. I was not a fan of horror movies at all. Because, okay, so I wish I could remember. I need to find out what it was. But there was a growing up. There used to be this. I'm not going to go into my whole backstory, my past, whatever. But there used to be this this TV series that would come on, and it was like this, you know, every Saturday at, like, I don't know, noon or whatever, this show would come on, and it would just it was like a monster feature or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it had this this theme song, and it would show these images of like these like scary faces, like monster faces, and then they would kind of swipe away, leaving this trail. Like it would have like a colored outline, and then it would swipe away, leaving this trail, the colored outline. Then like another one would come in, they would swipe away, and it would go dun-dun-dun-dun-dun, dun-dun, dun-dun-dun-dun. And that frightened me as a kid. And my aunts thought that was the funniest thing in the world, and would fucking make me sit and watch that, knowing that it scared the hell out of me.
That's an ass
Which is
move.
why, like some, like I think back to it, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I want to push you down a flight of stairs so bad.
Oh, yeah.
I just really do. Like, yeah, that's funny for you, but guess what? It had this kind of impact on me growing up to where, like, I couldn't. It's like, so when my friends were watching things, I'm like, is that scary? Because I don't want to have any part of that. Because I had this fear instilled in me at a young age. It wasn't even the movies themselves. I never even saw any of the movies that they showed.
Yeah.
Which of course were going to be tame because they were showing up on TV,
right?
Like network TV. But it was just that part right there was scary enough, and then being forced to watch it just so you can get a cheap laugh.
Yeah.
Dude, that's such a dick move from the word go.
Oh, totally. That's awful.
Man.
I can't imagine doing that to a kid.
And so, I would, and as a kid, your imagination runs wild. It's just so active.
Horrifically so.
I mean, so
I still have so many dreams that I remember vividly from that time.
I remember, when we lived down a long time ago. We lived in a trailer. And we're not talking about a modular home, right?
Yeah.
Again, I'm not going to give them a whole past and stuff like that, but it's just, me and my mom and I in this trailer, and we're talking, kind of like Bud's trailer from Kill Bill. I mean, that's what it was. You walked in the door, there was like your living room, and like you kind of walked in, like you're right there with the split between the kitchen and the living room.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, with the exception of the bathroom being right there next to the living room, it was, the layout was the same. You walked in that one door. Two doors, had one in the front, one closer to one end, one further back. But then next to the living room was another small bedroom. Then there was a bathroom. Then at the end of the hall was the bigger bedroom.
Yeah.
Right? So, but other than that, that box. And I remember having to go past. I had to go to my mom's room for something. I had to go past the bathroom. But if the lights weren't on, it was dark in there. And in my child mind, there was a monster in there.
Oh, totally.
But I mean, there's we're in this rectangle, this box, right? There's nothing in there. But in my mind, somehow it manifested in there.
Yeah.
And my mind doesn't, as a kid, my mind doesn't be like, he came in through the window, or or through the wall, or to the sweat. I mean, it's like I knew it wasn't there last time I went to go pee.
Right.
But somehow he's there now.
Yeah.
But how he got there, that's inconsequential. I didn't even think about that. It's there now.
Right.
And I would run past that door.
Oh, yeah.
Did
Did you ever, jump to reach your bed because you were afraid that the monster under the bed would pull you under?
I never had a fear of the monster under the bed or the monster in the closet. Those are two things I never had a fear of.
I never did until, unless I was going from my light switch to my bed. And then I would always make that flying leap. But, once I was in bed, it was like, it doesn't matter. He's not, there's nothing under there.
But I remember when I got older and we lived in a different house. And I'll be like one of the upstairs rooms.
Yeah.
And I forget to turn on the lights downstairs. So I'm in the upstairs room, and because we had this little room over the garage.
Yeah.
And I'd be up there, playing video games, watching TV or whatever. And I've got the lights on in there, so I'm not even aware that it's gotten dark outside until I have to go pee.
Yeah. Yeah. Ugh.
And then I turn around and I look down the short stairs, and the rest of the house is dark.
Ooh, I hate that.
And I'm like, fuck. Now, this is different than the other, fear, because I'm in this box, right?
Right.
And I know that nothing has come in and out. I mean, the window in the bathroom is so small that nothing can fit through that window, right?
Yeah.
Except for me. So unless the monster came in at my size and then grew, he wasn't going to get in there. But this is completely different.
Yeah.
Because I've been upstairs, and there's lots of rooms and doors and windows downstairs.
Oh, yeah.
That anything could have gotten in. And that's a different fear.
Oh, totally.
And the thing is, even if I go for it, and the problem is, when you're going downstairs, sometimes the light switch is on the opposite side of the room. So I can't turn on the light switch to make this room safe for me to get to the next room.
Yeah.
I've got to go through the dark to get to that light switch.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, how bad do I need to go pee?
Right.
You know, how long can I hold it? You know,
Maybe I'll just piss my pants. Thanks.
so do we have any plants up here? You know,
Yeah. See, I was never like super crazy afraid of the dark, like specifically.
right.
It was just like, I guess the dark would amplify things that I was already afraid of. Because like there was a window of time where I would have like stuffed animals and stuff in my room, but once the lights went off, even that started getting bad. Because for a while there was only like kind of humanoid dolls that really messed with me, and then it got to where it was even like stuffed animals, and it was like literally any of these things could just come to life and kill me. So then I started like closing them up in my closet and blocking off my closet.
So, and see, for me, I wasn't afraid of the dark. Like, it wasn't like the dark that I feared.
Yeah, it was just what was in there.
Right.
That you couldn't see.
It was what could be hiding in there, or in my mind, what was hiding in there, waiting for me. Because in movies and TV shows, these people, people, monsters, whatever they are, they're very patient.
Yeah. They got all the time in the world.
Right. And they know that you're upstairs. They know eventually you're going to have to come downstairs for something. And the worst thing you can have when that's going on is an unfamiliar noise downstairs.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah, I'm in the middle, and it's the weirdest thing. Like, I'm in the middle of like playing a video game, like, ding, 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 and all of a sudden, and you hear this slight, this thing, that just somehow pierces through all the video game noise, and you're like, what the fuck was that? And then next thing you know, you just remain completely still and silent. And then you're just like, and I don't know what's worse, is if you hear the noise again, or if you don't hear the noise again.
Oh, they're both bad.
Oh, God.
Like, it's a lose-lose situation at that point, because you don't want either thing to happen.
Right. It's like, sometimes if you hear it again, and then again, you're like, okay, well, it's, I know what that is now. It's it's the like the refrigerator compressor kicking on or whatever, and it's like, okay, yeah, but it's when you hear that, and sometimes you're not even sure that you really heard it, because when you don't hear it again, you're like, did I hear it? Or maybe it's a video game. Maybe I'll go back to playing a video game, but no, what if it's not? I'll just turn the TV down real low, but then I may not hear it. Like, I don't know what to do. I'm like throwing like a choose your own adventure book, and I'm just seeing stuff on that one page. I have no idea like what page what the move. That as a kid, that was frightening to me.
Oh man, yeah, no, I totally get that. Did I tell you that I had to get rid of like the Street Sharks toy that I really wanted when I was 5 because these doll dreams started up?
I remember you told me there was one that you really wanted.
Yeah, this was like just watching your hopes and dreams crash and burn immediately. So like this was the year that Toy Story came out, okay? And Street Sharks was like kind of at its peak popularity, which Street Sharks is not a good show. And it's not even really a good concept per se. It's just a really bad knockoff of Ninja Turtles. But at the time, I was totally into it.
Street Sharks, isn't that the one that had that Ian Ziering from 90210?
I have no clue who
did a voice of.
They had Slamu, the killer whale.
Slamu?
Yeah.
Okay.
They bite, they fight, they're jawsome. But yeah, no, I mean, like when you're a stupid 5-year-old, you're just like way into that shit. And so, like, they had these awesome puppets, and the puppets had, like, stiff arms that were kind of curled into a punching position, like Sock'em Robots.
I remember the dolls.
And so, you could make them bite with your hand, because they were puppets, and you could make them punch by, like, twisting your wrist. It was the coolest shit. And, like, I asked for that for months, and, like, everywhere we went was always sold out, like, just, like, this classic movie scenario, and finally, for Christmas, I got one, and I was so happy. It was just like this ultimate fulfillment of joy for something I've been chasing over for so long. And then, like, we watched Toy Story, which Toy Story is not a scary movie, but there is that one moment where they see all these, like, mutilated toys that Sid has been repurposing. Oh, yeah. And even that, most of them aren't scary, but you have that one jump scare where Woody's under the bed, and he sees Babyface.
Oh, the spider one?
Yeah. The little spider claw thing. And so it just does that fast head turn where it looks into the camera and it's missing the eye, and Woody's flashlight is like shining to the back of its head, and it was just so fucking scary. And so, like, I managed to get through Toy Story and watch the whole movie, despite that fear, but then I had a nightmare that I was playing with my puppet, and I turned it around to look at the back of it, and that stupid one-eyed baby doll was there.
Oh.
And the legs sprouted out of the back of the puppet and started crawling around, and that scared the shit out of me so bad. So bad. And so, like, I tried to play with it the next day, and I just couldn't, and I just had to, like, take it to Mom. I was like, you have to take it back to the store, I can't do it.
Dude, that sucks, man.
Oh, man, it was, like, that was, you know, most kids have, like, a beloved pet dying when they're kids. This was my thing of that. Of, like, this was, like, a months-long dream just shattered. So, yeah, like, the doll thing long plagues me. Long plagues me.
So that's horrible, man. it just having to give up a like something you really wanted that bad.
Oh yeah,
and just wow.
Oh man, but that dream is still just burned into my brain. I will never forget that dream.
Yeah, that dude, that's horrible, man. I'm sorry. And just good from me as a guy that loves like toys and stuff, having to give up a toy that any kind of toy, but one that you really wanted.
Oh yeah,
that sucks.
Yeah, that was a rough time. Especially, like, having to have that conversation of, like, you wanted this so bad for months. It's like, you don't understand the dream.
And it's not like you don't still want it. You just can't have it near you.
Yeah. It was just like, it was tainted. Yeah. The enjoyment was tainted.
Yeah. Like being in a relationship. I want it so bad, but I just can't have it near me.
That's a really good way of putting it.
So just to clarify here, Ian Ziering was in Biker Mice from Mars.
Oh yeah, Biker Mice from Mars was the shit.
Yeah, so that's what he did a voice for. And by the way, because I knew he was in it, the Swamp Thing, like short-lived TV series that was on Disney streaming. He played Blue Devil.
Huh, cool.
Which they were talking about making a Blue Devil series, and I actually really like Blue Devil a lot.
Yeah,
and I haven't seen the Swamp Thing yet, so I'm curious to be how his portrayal was, but. I'm not a Ian Ziering fan, but I don't hate him. I just never really care for 90210. But I'd be interested in seeing how well he does Blue Devil, and he can make me a fan of if he does a really good Blue Devil.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I just figured I'd bring that up to clarify. Yeah, he was not in Street Sharks, but he did do Biker Mice from Mars.
Yeah. No, I don't know like any of the actors behind those old shows, like what was it, Extreme Dinosaurs, Dino Saucers, all that stuff. Like
I don't know any of those.
Oh man, like none of them were good. I mean,
I don't know Bruno the Kid.
God,
you know you like Bruno the Kid. Don't
love
even
Bruno the
front.
Kid. What are you talking about? It's just I could have gone my entire life without seeing like bad CG Bruce Willis. What is it, Command? I'm at the dentist.
No, all right. So let's go ahead and allow one of our sponsors to say something important to help us to continue talking about the things that scare us.
Yeah.
Take it away, sponsors!
Probably a sponsor for a doll or something.
Yeah, it probably is.
That'd be really fitting.
Baby, it's alive.
Mommy, I can feel its teeth.
I think you and I talked about this, like, about how I don't understand why they market baby dolls to young girls.
Yeah.
And I don't get that. That's so mind-boggling to me. I never thought about this before, but it's like now it's like, hey, now, are you like 6 years old? Don't you wish you had a baby of your own that you could feed and take care of and like clean up his diapers and stuff? Like, wait, well, no, I'm 6 years old. I don't want that kind of fucking responsibility.
Right.
That's why when girls turn like 20, it's like, would you like to have a baby? Like, no, I already did that shit when I was 5. You know, I raised her and I'm done.
You see that, but that could be like a really good method of like very proactive birth control. It's like, yeah, give him a doll, but like actually make it just like a filthy fucking mess maker. Make it cry with no way of turning it off.
I mean, yeah, like kids say, like, but like, hey Jim, would you like to be a fireman when you grow up? Well, here's the new toy, Instant Fire. Like,
burn your parents' house down for you. You can practice
like,
putting it out.
Exactly. He's like, no, they don't do that. Like, hey, how'd you like to become a detective and solve crimes? Hey, your parents are dead. Figure out who did it. No.
Want to learn how to be a surgeon? We just shot your dog. See if you can get the bullet out in time. It's a fun game.
Like, no, they don't. I'm like, but for girls, it's like, hey, let's domesticate you at an early age. I'm like, no, that's not right. You know? But how about they do that for guys, right?
Right.
You're like, hey, you want to learn what's like to be a stay-at-home dad or a single father? Just start taking care of a baby doll at the age of 6. I'm just saying, if you're going to do it across the board, right?
Yeah.
And by the same means, kill some little girl's parents and let her try to figure it out, Give her, like, Instant Fire, the toy, and let her try to practice being a firefighter.
Can that be one of our sponsor spots?
Yeah.
This Instant Fire.
Right. It's like, hey, kids, would you like to be an astronaut? Here's vacuum in a bottle. You open it up. Now all the air sucked out of the room. Try and survive. Okay, all right, so other fears.
Yeah.
I had a fear of small dogs.
Really?
Actually, and not small. I had a fear of dogs. But I think that was because they didn't have any pets growing up, and you would always hear about dogs, like attacking people. Somebody got bitten by a dog, or not like nowadays where people get mangled by dogs. It was like normally it was like, oh, this person got bitten by a dog, and it was a horrible thing. But also back then it was like, hey, your dog bit me. It's like, well, that's your fault. You shouldn't have been around him. Like not that. Oh, hey, that dog has like a like a thirst for blood. It's like I thought it was one of those shaven dogs, right? I realize we have to like make throwbacks to other podcasts that we did to make people go back and listen to those.
Let me ask you this: have you ever had like either a relative or just some kind of like random old redneck when their dog is acting up around you? Go, oh, you got to be careful there, boy. You can smell fear.
Yeah. Okay. I have had the it's like
it's like, well, I wasn't fucking afraid until you said that,
right.
Douchebag.
Right, it's like the only reason he's barking at you is because you're afraid. If you did I tell you about the time I was working at the comic book store and the guy came in there and he was telling me about, hey, dude, he was just this guy. He was I don't want to call him any kind of like bias that somewhat racial like name. I don't want to say he was like a redneck or like a trailer nothing like that. He was, I don't know what this guy was, but he was odd. So he's telling me all this stuff. He did live in a trailer, right?
All right.
And he had this big screen TV and satellite. He was telling me about all this stuff. He was telling me about all the fancy stuff he had in his house. I'm thinking, but you live in a trailer. And there's nothing wrong with that, but you could probably live in a non-modular home and not have a big screen TV or not have, this, like all this fancy stuff you tell me about that you have.
Right.
But I mean, if you're happy with that's fine. I mean, I don't care. I mean, I have my life, you have yours, but it's kind of weird. You tell me about all this expensive stuff you have, and it's like, but all that stuff crowded in that little like metal thing. Like, okay, whatever, dude. And the thing is, there's nothing wrong with living in a trailer. I've lived in a trailer before, right? And but it's not the trailer; it's the community.
Yeah.
And so I think that's what really gives trailers a bad reputation, is that it's not the trailers themselves, right? It's the community that really gives that stigma.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Speaking as a pizza deliverer or a former pizza deliverer, yes, that's 100% it.
So he was saying, he's like, yeah, sometimes his dog, gets a little aggressive and thinks that he knows what's boss. He goes, and when that happens and everything, he's like, I just got to show him that, like, I'm boss around here. And so I'll just, take off my clothes and get naked and I'll just wrestle with him. He bites me, I'll just grab him and bite him back. I'm like, whoa. Back the fuck up. Why do you have to get naked to do this?
Seriously, that was my immediate question.
You gonna bite me? Yeah, here, see, I'm gonna rape you, dog. See how you like that? Like, yeah, you gonna bite me now, huh? God damn, this feels good. I mean, maybe you should bite me more often.
This is strictly for dominance. It's strictly to establish dominance.
Yeah, but it's like, I
can smell your fear.
I never understood why it was important that he had to take off his clothes to fight the dog and bite him back. I'm just like, oh my goodness.
Oh, Lord.
Luckily, I only met that guy once. So anyway,
So that's the kind of person who's like, no, I showered this week. It's okay.
So I did, getting bitten by a dog back then when I was growing up was just like, it's your own fault, and if you weren't afraid of him, he wouldn't be barking at you like that. That's not how dogs work. I looked it up on Wikipedia. That is not how dogs work.
Not at all.
It's like, no, you can't do that with a bear, right? But a dog and a bear are different, so just don't show any fear around him. It's like my mom was telling me a story about these people who would live in his house, and there's something recent on the news, and a bobcat got into their house, I guess through like the dog door or whatever. I'm thinking, I still don't understand how this thing came in there, right? But anyway, the husband and wife, they're an older couple, they were watching TV, and this thing came in and brushed against their leg, and the guy thought it was like their grandson or whatever it was, and just kind of backhanded, like get away, boy, you bother me. Yeah. And then looked up and turned out it was this bobcat, and he was like, ah! And the wife was like, ah! And then and so it ran into the bathroom. They locked in the bathroom until animal control could come. And she was telling me that they were like, bobcats are just as afraid of you as you are of them, right? And they won't attack you unless they feel threatened. And I'm thinking to myself, that's a bunch of bullshit. Because when I was playing Days Gone, I was getting attacked by fucking bobcats all the time. I'm just riding my bike down the road, and here's a freaking bump, 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 and shoot him, and run this one over, bam, I'll see you, roar, bobcat. I'm like, what? So don't give me that shit. Either you're lying or the game's lying, and I'm gonna believe the game over you. Because just in case you're telling the truth, just in case you're not telling the truth, right? I don't want to let my guard down, but I don't want to alarm you. This is about getting. He's fine. We're not threatening him. He's going to leave us. Oh my God, my face! No, I'll be on my guard.
He just wanted his claws back.
That's right. It's like, these are for all my brothers and sisters that you've gunned down to build your shitty homes. But yeah, so. That was so. It was. I didn't want to be bitten by a dog. That was really. I didn't have a fear. I just didn't want to be bitten. And small dogs are just yappy and they're annoying.
Yeah, they're aggressive.
Which of course nowadays would be like, okay, look, if you bite me, I'm gonna punch you.
Yeah.
Seriously. So you can go ahead. I don't want to be bitten any more than you want to be punted, right? But go ahead. You do what you got to do. I'm going to do what I got to do.
Yeah. The only time I would be afraid of an altercation with dogs coming out bad is if there was a pack of them. Yeah. Then I can see that
a pack of dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah. That had no. Nope.
No. Let's see what else. The only I'm paranoid. I'm a paranoid person, which I'm sure you know. I'm sure you've picked up on, but there are little things that I'm not really scared of. It's not something that I'll lose any sleep over or whatever, but it's definitely something that I'm always acutely aware of. And it's I'm always paranoid about people following me, especially if I'm driving late at night. So if there's a vehicle behind me and it takes the same turn I do 3 times, that's when I start to think that something might be up. Mm-hmm. And again, that's not really a fear thing, but that is something that it's pretty unusual that this guy would take the exact same turn I've taken 3 times in a row. What are the chances of that? And so then that's when my mind starts racing to, okay, what would be the best way to handle this if this does turn south, Okay, here's one I'm definitely still afraid of and have been my entire life. Bees. I do not like bees, and whether that's bees, wasps, hornets, whatever categorization you want to use, do not like those things.
What, are you afraid of them getting in your eyes and your mouth?
Fuck off, dude. No, just the fact that they can sting you and they can move, man.
The bees! The bees!
Not the bees!
You can hit my eyes!
Not the bees! Yeah, no, I related to Nick Cage on an even deeper level than is typical in Wicker Man. For that very reason. Like, that... Oh, God. Like, watching Misery and watching her, like, hobble him and break his ankles, that's one of those things where it's like, ooh, I bet that hurt. And then I move on with my day. Watching that scene in Wicker Man where they're just, like, dumping bees into a basket on his head, it's like, oh, God, no! This can't go on.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, nah. Like, the ending of My Girl, I don't know, spoiler warning for a really old movie, but, like, it's like, none of that is okay.
No, it's actually pretty cool because it happens in Macaulay Culkin.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Dude, I thought we were going to try to apply for that writing job with his company.
You were going to do that.
I was.
Yeah. Wait, you didn't do it?
I know. I suck.
Jeez.
My day job is awful if you haven't caught on yet.
And that was old Macaulay Culkin, you know, because I got sick of Macaulay Culkin, you know, back in the day. I was just, I was going to say, you know, you're talking about a car following you. You know, what's worse is when you're like, okay, I'm going to see if this person's really following me, so I'm going to just pull into the driveway of this house.
Yep.
And you happen to pull into the driveway of the person who's what the hell are you doing going to my house? Who are you? I'm like, oh shit, I thought you were following me.
There are those moments where I'll be like, you know what, I'm just going to test this little theory, and I'm just going to not signal this next turn, and then you do it, and they still take that turn. It's like, fuck this.
So I was never afraid of bees, but I remember like at one point they were like, you know, the African killer bees were coming.
Oh, God.
And I remember being afraid. I was like, because I'm imagining like this whole swarm of bees just traveling all together, you know, like a biker gang of bees and stuff. And I'm like, of course that's not what it's like. And,
Biker gang of bees.
But you know, so a funny thing is like, you know how in the movies, if you're being chased by bees, you run into the water because bees don't like water. They will actually stay above the water and wait for you to come back out. Be like, he can only hold his breath for so long.
Yep.
I read it on Beapedia. It's like these humans, they don't breathe water like the fish do.
Oh man, yeah, no. I think my fear of bees, it also stems from childhood stuff. Just basically, I'm a person who can't get over the past. It's basically the takeaway from this. Well, and
it shapes us.
It does.
It's quite unfortunate.
Because like I remember as a kid, like I was a pretty typical kid in that like I would kill bugs just because they were in my way and I could, you know. And I remember like a bee in the yard and I stepped on it and it didn't sting me, but it didn't die right away either. Bees are very tough. They're very resilient. They can take a pretty good stomping apparently. And this thing just kept.
But don't pull a stinger out.
Well, I didn't know that at the time.
Well, I'm saying they're so tough, right? But don't pull a stinger out.
Yeah. I mean, like, oh man, because that was like my comfort for a long time. Was like, yeah, well, you know, bees are scary and they can sting you, but then they die. And then it's like, yeah, except for wasps, because they're just like, hey, fuck off, man. I will shank your ass until you die.
Yeah. Wasps are like the gangs in prison, and bees are like the fresh meat.
Pretty much, yeah.
It's like after a bee's been in prison for a while, he becomes like a wasp.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, oh god, I hated finding out about wasps. There was apparently a legend in medieval times that Satan made wasps because he wanted to make something, and he was like, I'm going to make a bee, and then he just made a wasp, and it's like, oh, they don't make honey, and they don't die after they sting you, so these things are just basically just douchebags of the animal kingdom. So, so there was that realization as a kid that was like, this isn't like a fly or a spider, I can't just step on it and kill it and be done. They keep moving afterwards, and you gotta really make sure they're dead, because otherwise they're mad, and like, there was that whole thing. And then I remember my family was camping, and we were out at this cabin in the woods, and they had a hummingbird feeder up, but I never knew about hummingbirds, never knew anything about them. And this was before we'd found out that my vision was really bad, so, you know...
Did you think a hummingbird was a giant bee?
Yeah, boy.
Because of the noise it makes?
Yeah, so it makes the big buzzing noise, it parks on this feeder, and all I see is, like, this long thing sticking out, which, you know, it's the beak, But, I was a kid with bad vision. I didn't realize this. I just thought that was its massive-ass stinger. I had a meltdown right there, and
Shit, yeah. I can imagine if you're afraid of small bees, and all of a sudden you see this gigantic bee. You're camping, and you're like, the woods have giant bees!
Oh, man. It was the scariest shit. And, the family explained right away, and it's like, oh, no, this is a hummingbird. And it was like, oh, okay, but then, you're still not going to get over that. It's just like if I jump out and scare you and do a jump scare thing, it's not like you're going to go, oh, it's just Acomi. I'm not, my adrenaline's all gone now. It's all okay. It's like, no, you're still going to have that adrenaline coursing through your veins.
Yeah, and every time I see a white person, I'm like, oh, shit. I thought it was going to jump out in front of me. Oh, my God.
So, yeah, there was that. And, I've never been scared of spiders.
So, I never really had, a fear. I didn't like insects. But the thing is, you're not afraid of anything until somebody tells you something like, oh yeah, it's like a black widow. This thing's only about the size of a quarter, but if it bites you, it'll kill you. And sometimes you get in your bed so you can't see them. Like, well, don't tell me there's something that can kill me I can't see.
It's probably gonna crawl into your mouth while you're asleep.
Right. And it's like, you eat about 20 black widows a year. But what? But I used to love climbing trees as a kid until one day I was flipping through this book. And it had the spider in there, and it was talking about how spiders can extend their legs.
Oh, yeah.
Right, can stretch their legs out. And it showed a picture of a average-looking spider, but it extended its legs by, 3 or 4 inches and was, straddled over 2 branches. And I was like, well, fuck that. I'm not climbing a tree anymore. I'm done. I don't need to be in a tree anyway. My life is on the ground. I'm not a squirrel.
My life is on the ground. I'm not a squirrel! No, I've never really been scared of spiders. My sister's terrified of them, but I've had a couple of moments where it's like, I ain't fucking with spiders. Oh, yeah. And I think one of them was that moment that I realized that spiders look at you. And I've never really seen other insects that look at you, but spiders do. And I never like it when they do. Because I remember it was one of those pretty big garden spiders, those ones that are about the size of a nickel.
Yeah.
They're pretty hefty boy. And I remember swinging a book down to kill it, and it sidestepped it, and then it just turned its body to look at me, and I had that moment of this motherfucker's memorizing my features, and he's gonna come back and find me, and I'd never realized that bugs actively have the intelligence to look at you and go, this is a living entity that I'm gonna stare at here.
Yeah, he's gonna go back. He's gonna spin a web with your image, right? Yeah. This guy right here.
Yeah, this little pussy who cries at dolls. Yeah, he had the nerve to try to kill me. Let's get him, guys. So I had that moment. And there was actually a moment within the past couple of weeks that, you've never really seen, my studio set up, but I've got, a stack of, 4 different 4 different stacks of sketchbooks next to my art desk. So I'm at my desk drawing one night, and I look over and see another one of those big spiders, and there was that moment where we both kind of looked at each other. Mm-hmm. And so, I see the spider clearly sees me, and then it bolts under my stacks of sketchbooks, and it's like, oh, damn it. So then I had to remove the sketchbooks one at a time because I didn't just want to move the whole stack and have my arms full when the spider comes jumping out hey, surprise, it's me. Right.
It's I got a gun, bitch, now what?
So I'm having to remove one book at a time from these massive stacks of sketchbooks, and finally it was the very last book in the last stack that he went bolting out. I was like, exit stage left.
So yeah. So my mom was telling me again. It's my mom. I was cleaning out my basement, and I cleaned this one room, and then I was going back in there because I was showing her. Hey, yeah, I was like, this is what I plan on. I'm trying to move this stuff around because before I started working on my basement, I told her, I was like, this is what I'm planning on doing. I think there should be enough room to move this thing around here, move this thing here, and try to maximize space. And so I was in progress, and so I was showing her, I was like, hey, you remember I told you about I was planning on moving this stuff around here? And I was like, so this is kind of where I am now. It's like, how do you think it's shaping up? Does it, it looked like it was going to work because we measured things out. In theory, it looked like it was going to work, but yeah, how's it looking? And so I went back into one room, and there was now a spider there. It was a pretty big spider. And I was like, he wasn't here before. And I was like, okay. And she was like, and I was like, shit, I don't have any bug spray down here, right? Because I want the instant death one, the stuff you spray on wasp. It's it kills on contact. I want a bug spray that I really just have to whisper the name and the bug just drops dead. Right. So and so she was like, here, use this. She's like, this is what I use to when I have a spider or whatever in my house. It was like a can of spray glue. And you spray them, and of course it just frees them up. The spray glue just instantly. I was like,
that's badass.
It's also very, very evil because it's not dead. You just paralyzed it.
You know, I mean, certain things I just don't care.
And so then I swept him up and I tossed him in the toilet and flushed him, which is really bad because now he's going to drown, right? And he can't even try this. Like, so I'm like, oh my god, it's like it was like fucking waterboarding him.
Right? It's like you could have just like peaceably, instantly paralyzed him and let him suffocate, and instead you just let him drown horrifically.
Right? And it's like, oh, so it's like, oh, I could have just squished him, but no.
Spiders I don't have a beef with as long as they stay out of my space. Like, if they're up in the corner just catching other bugs for me, I don't care.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna get in my zone, then it's on. It's definitely on.
You know what? I think
much like my relationships.
No, it's in my zone. It's on. Like a lion on the prowl.
Just I gotta strip my clothes down and just fuck that spider to establish dominance.
That's right. Bite one of his legs.
Just hike one of those 8 legs up over my shoulder and just
jackhammer it. What I'm afraid of is like, I'm agree. Because you've got insects in your house or whatever. Spiders are going to eat the insects. That's great. But I guess what I'm afraid of is that when the spider gets to a good size, and I realize that where I thought that we had like this like mutual friendship. Hey, I'll let you live. You get food. And it's like that he's actually just been getting stronger. So he can take over. It's like he's like, God, what a fool you were! All this time I've been planning.
You wake up, there's this little foot-high spider standing at the foot of your bed. Where are my egg sacs, Turk? I had them, and now they are not here.
You know what I hate is when you walk through a spider web, and it's like, and you've got the web on you, and the web itself is not a problem, except for the first thing in your mind is like, he was on that web. He's on me now. Get off of me! Yeah.
The only time I ever got weirded out by that, I was a kid, not as young as when I was establishing all my life phobias, but I think I was probably like 10 or 11, and I'd found out that like spiders know when a bug's caught in their web because they feel the vibrations. Mm-hmm. And so, like, I remember seeing a big spider web out in like our garden or something, and I picked up a little stick and I tapped the center, and it just bolted lightning fast to the center of the web, and I was like, oh god!
Yeah.
Oh, they fast!
No.
No.
And I was like, no, sorry, it's you got to die now. I mean, I was gonna let you stay. You didn't pull those bugs or anything, but no, now you got to die.
Yep.
Yeah, what I think pisses me off about spiders is when you do have like you find a bug in your house, and you're like, where the fuck were you on that one?
Right.
It's like do your job, dude. And it's like, you're sitting there, you're eating chickens all day. Here's a damn cow. And you'd be like, oh, no. Yeah, so I was like, okay, great. What do you want me to, like, step on it and put in the web for you to eat? No, I'm not going to do your job for you.
It's like, you're a tenant here. You're not my fucking pet.
That's right. It's like, you earn your keep, man.
Get with it, Jerry.
So I don't really I don't like spiders. I think it's the legs I don't like.
Yeah.
Just watching them move.
I just don't like how fast they are.
So I always wanted a scorpion. But I was looking at a scorpion one day at this pet store, and there was one there. Because the scorpions have 8 legs like spiders, don't they? Aren't they considered are they considered arachnids?
I think they are.
And then I was like,
they might be crustaceans because they got the pinchers too. I don't know. That's a good question.
But I was sitting, I was looking, I was like, yeah, that'd be cool, and a scorpion. And I was like, except for if I came home one day and he wasn't in his tank.
Yep. They are arachnids, okay.
That's it, I'm moving. And I'm just leaving all my stuff in the house. That's it. They're just like, oh, scorpion's not in his tank. All right, well.
Time to go.
Yep, I'm out. It's your house now. I'm just going to sign a lease over to you, and we're good. Enjoy.
Exit stage left.
It was like, the scorpions. Dun, 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 dun. It was like, this is your place now.
Okay, yeah, so yeah, you were right. They're arachnids, according to Wikipedia.
I think if it, I'm not positive. I think if it has 8 legs, it's considered an arachnid.
Yeah, but crabs have 8 legs.
So do ticks. Ticks have 8 legs. You have 8 legs?
Ticks are considered arachnids, aren't they?
I don't know.
Shit. Man, science is not my strong suit.
Well, they do suck blood, just like spiders do.
Huh. Spiders also vomit acid, which is really cool. They are arachnids, yes. Okay, so yeah.
Wow.
But crabs and lobsters are crustaceans, and I know crabs at least have 8 legs.
I guess because they live in water.
I guess.
Lobsters have more than 8 legs, don't they?
I think so, yeah.
Don't they have like 10?
They might.
Well, they've got the pinchers and they've got like the little legs.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think what other fears I had growing
All the
up.
comments are going to be about both what a pussy I am and what an idiot I am because I don't know science.
Oh, dude, I pick up random facts or whatever, just different things.
Were you ever afraid of clowns?
I don't like clowns, but I'm not afraid of them. I don't understand a clown. Like, look at me, I'm funny. I'm like, no, you're not. You're just fucking annoying.
Did you hear about the guy who hired an emotional support clown when he got fired?
No.
He got called to a meeting with the board of directors, and he was like, I just know I'm going to get fired. So he hired an emotional support clown who made balloon animals for him the entire time. And when they fired him, the clown just like did the mining cries thing.
Like, so to be fair, right? If I called you to a meeting and you brought an emotional support clown, if I wasn't going to fire you before, right. I am now, because that's just like we can't have that.
It's like, Jeff, this is the exact reason why you're being fired.
Right. I mean, like, God, who would hire an emotional support clown? I mean, like, that's because okay. Here's the thing, like. People don't like clowns. I think genuinely people do not like clowns because like the little sock and bopper things that you like the balloons you blow up, the inflatables and you punch. What were they always?
Yeah, they were always.
They were always clowns because I want to fucking punch you in your clown face.
It was like Papa the Clown.
Yeah. So really, if you were gonna like, they never made one look like a spider, right? Because if you're gonna punch something, right, it'd be a spider, right? Or make one that looks like like the mugger that they have on like the targets that the shooting range,
like
right?
Hogan's Alley,
right? Make one that looks like that. That's something I really want to punch, right?
I would totally get a bot bag of Hogan's Alley.
But the fact that they didn't go for any of that stuff, they made it a clown, right? That just tells you right there, people don't like clowns.
Oh yeah. Man, what's the statistic that Danny always says on Game Grumps? It's like 99% of the world doesn't like clowns, and the other 1% are clowns.
Yeah,
or something like that. So yeah, no, I was never really afraid of clowns either. But it's just one of those things of like, it's kind of like spiders. It's like, you know what, you're funny in the circus ring, but don't come within 15 feet of me or it's on, bitch.
Yeah, see, I don't even think they're funny in the circus ring. I'm like, oh, you look. And
I haven't been to the circus since I was like probably 14.
I've never been to a circus, and I have no interest in going to a circus. I'm like, what? How is that entertaining?
It's like, you're in a smelly tent full of elephant poo and loud, boisterous rednecks. Hmm. So not unlike our last con, really.
Yeah. I can only imagine going to a circus and seeing like the elephants there and the lions and stuff like that. And as a black guy to look at me and be like, oh what? What? This is okay? Oh, you didn't like it when it was you that was just yanked out of your natural environment and then forced to do shit and beaten when you didn't do it right. But now the shoe's on the other foot. Oh, I'm okay with it.
It's funny when I turn tricks. Yeah, I get it.
One day the circus revolution is going to come and all y'all are going to be on the block.
Oh, that would make a good comic. I need to add that to my list. Like the circus uprising of just like the circus animals being like, man, enough of this shit. Like we are faster, bigger, more intelligent than the people who have enslaved us. Our enmity is with clowns, okay?
Yeah.
The most they have going for them is the strongman and the human cannonball. If we can neutralize those threats or win them to our side, then we have this. Oh, that'd make a fun comic. I gotta do that.
Yeah, so, I'm trying to think, what are the fears that I have? I think for the most part, it was fear of horror elements, right? So, like, scary things, like horror movie things, like, which can also be, like, just serial killers, not like a Freddy or Jason or Michael kind of thing, just real serial killers.
Yeah.
Because those were a thing, growing up, you hear about serial killers. And that's the thing, when you're growing up, so when we were growing up, and there wasn't like the internet,
Right,
where you're getting all this information, and you would have like maybe some local news, or or the worldly news, or I guess just national news. And you didn't have all the information that we have now.
Right.
When you heard about a killer, they were always right next door.
Oh, right, yeah.
It was like, and it's like, the Boston Strangler. Shit, Boston. That's across the street. Like, no, it's not. But you always, these people they were just traveling everywhere. He was from Boston, because they obviously know where he's from because they caught him, right? Which is why he's on the loose right now. And it's like, but no, it's like they were everywhere.
Oh, man, yeah.
So
have you seen that meme where they talk about, it's like, serial killers wouldn't be so prevalent if they didn't give them such cool nicknames? Because you got like these badass names like the Zodiac Killer and the Green River Killer and the Boston Strangler, and it's like, why don't you give them stupid sounding nicknames and like shame them into not doing it? It's like, oh yeah, the Boston Cuck Nugget is at it again.
because then they'll write letters to the paper and be like, you got my name wrong.
That's true.
I think was it the Zodiac Killer or the Son of Sam, where they made up a bunch of stuff, the bad things about them in the paper to try to get them to write back.
Yeah,
and
that was the Zodiac.
And you're like, yeah, you shouldn't have done that. So now I killed these people right here.
Yeah.
So this is what I want to be called.
Yeah, the Zodiac was like always very specific in what he was going to do, and they could never prevent it. And you'd be like, okay, well, now I'm going to target a school bus. Good luck stopping on this one. Here's the time and place. Race you.
What would be interesting is, they've always been trying to like crack the Zodiac's code.
Yeah.
They were like, some of his ciphers were really easy because they wanted us to crack them. The other ones were really hard. And it's like, what if the other ones really aren't ciphers at all?
Right. Yeah.
Like the ones you crack were the ones I really had a message. The other stuff just shit. I just wrote down a bunch of symbols.
Yeah. Yeah. Because like then that's time and resources that you're spent chasing over something that has nothing to do with this.
Right. And it's like you're really trying to solve this thing. It's like no. I mean, like, because it's why would I? If my goal is to just kill people, right? And I'm not like the Riddler, where I'm just trying to prove how much more intelligent I am than you are.
Right.
Like, no, I just really want to kill some people. Why am I going to tell you how to find me? It's like, if you really want to stop me, this is like, what? Who does that? It's like, I don't want to be stopped. That would be like if I was LeBron James. I'm like, if you really want to win against us in the game, I'm weak on my left side. So if you come in from like a 5 o'clock angle, I'm not going to see you there because I actually have a slight astigmatism there, right? So if you really want to win a championship, this is how you shut me down. They're like, no, who does that?
That's because you're not so much of a like megalomaniac type villain as you are like an Ozymandias type of like, do you think I would have told you my plan if you had a chance of stopping it?
Right.
I threw that shit before I walked in the room.
Yeah, I'm going to send you my manifestos after I'm all done killing. You're like...
Yeah, I mean, that makes a lot more sense. Like, okay, I've just killed 62 people. Here are their names. Here's why I killed them. Good luck figuring out who I am.
Yeah.
I'm sure my shit list is at least 62 people deep.
Really?
Oh, easily.
I
work IT, Turk.
No, that's true. My shit list really wasn't that big, but I actually just picked up Hitler's shit list. I'm sorry, Hitler. God, I'm sorry.
It sounded really bad, too.
No, that was Nixon. The second Hitler. The Nixon's shit list just to pad mine out. Because there's people I don't like, right? And there's just people I can't stand. There's people I don't like, but I'm like, I'm not going to go out of my way to do anything bad to them, right? But there are some people who I'm like, if I ever had the opportunity, oh yeah. Oh yeah, like when my life gets to the point that I'm like, oh, you know what? Just it's done. It's done. Then that's when I'll be like, all right, so let's start taking a look at this list here. But right now my life is not there. Now hopefully I'll never get there, but when it does, that's it. So but then it's like a small list. I'm like, because the whole thing is like it's the motivation, right?
Yeah.
It's like it's like, okay, now my life has gotten to the point where I'm like, I got nothing else going on. Or it's like it's really bad. So, and I need something that's going to keep me going. if there's only 2 people on the list, I mean, oh shit.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, I just you know, took Nixon's like, you know, shit list and just kind of helped mine pad out some. That way, it's just like, yeah, just got something to keep me active. Like you know, old people when they retire, and you know, it's like you know, they a lot of them die soon after because they don't have anything to keep them going. They have a reason to get up in the morning and they have a job to do, right? And I was like, okay, now I got something to do, something to keep me busy until something else comes along. Yeah, but Nixon.
Oh yeah,
Nixon.
There we go. Yeah. All right then. Well, I'd say this has probably been enough for an episode.
We probably shouldn't say that, like in like the thing, but like, yeah, I think we've talked enough here. Yeah, we've met our goal here.
Well, you know, it's not like we're working off of a script or whatever, so that just kind of comes with the territory of doing an improv show.
Hold on. I'm trying to find my place in the safe. We're walking off the improv. Yeah. I mean, we are. It's. I mean,
Dude,
we just
you're
make all
destroying the illusion. I'm gonna have to edit that shit out now.
So yeah, but yeah, I'm trying to think of like my fears, because I think we talked about how our fears have changed, right?
Yeah. Because like mine really haven't. They've diminished, but like they're still there.
Well, you know what? I say let's because we've kind of gone a little, I think, longer than I thought we were actually going to go with this.
Yeah, I thought this would be like 45 and done.
So let's see. Let's make a part 2, which may be a little bit shorter.
Okay.
And we'll talk about how our fears have changed.
Okay.
So now we've established what our fears were, and on part 2 we'll talk about our new fears and maybe how our old fears have changed. Either they've evolved, or maybe like they've either gotten stronger or gone away, or maybe how they've evolved into new fears.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah. See, when you work from the script, see, it's good.
All right there, folks. That was Our Moms Think We're Funny. Let's give them a hand.